Hi there, I'm Andre from Peak Motorcycles and I'm here at EICMA 2025 and I'm here on the fairly large CFMoto stand. Now if you haven't heard of CFMoto, I don't know where you've been. 2 years ago they launched the CFMoto 450 MT, a bike that I thought was brilliant. I even bought one. When I finally got mine I ended up selling it to somebody else who needed one for a show. But I think that's very much set the benchmark for those A2 compliant adventure bikes. This year they launched the 800 MTX, which was I suppose a bit like a KTM 790 but just higher spec, lower price, and I think they've done extremely well. We're here again this year to see what they've got, and if you can see above my head over there is the 1000 MTX. So this is a 1000cc inline twin. Looks a bit like the 800 MTX from the front, but everything has been toned up. It's got KYB suspension, it's got Brembo brakes, and it's got that 1000cc inline twin. So very much taking on probably like the standard Africa twin, sort of that sort of segment, the sort of almost the top of the adventure bike market. So yeah, I've already had a look at the bike. I think it's awesome. There's two up there. There's the blue and pink one, which is the production model, and then there is the beige one next to it, which is a concept. However, I'm going to show you around the stand, let you see what else they have here, and then I'll have a look at the 1000 MTX towards the end. If that's the only thing you've come for, then you can skip to that bit and miss the rest. But anyway, this is the CFMoto stand from this year's EICMA 2025. Right then, let's start small, shall we? Here we have the AE7, which is Ziho, which is CFMoto's sort of EV scooter brand, and we have the AE8 Max, a couple of electric scooters. Don't know a lot about scooters, but for those of you that like them, you might want to see them. Here they are. We also have a 125, this is a 125 SCF, a few nice little touches like those fold-in foot pegs down there. You know, super clear dash. You know, I seem to be finding myself looking at quite a lot of scooters on this visit to EICMA, and yeah, that certainly looks up there. Okay, then we have a 125 NK naked bike. We have the 800 NK, built around the same engine that is in the 800 MT. Someone had asked me about concept bikes at the show, and I'm sure that this is very much one of them. I think this might be the V4 race bike. I don't know if you can see the power plant in there. It's certainly a V something. It's either a massive V twin or a V4, but yeah, just looking at everything that is spec'd out on that bike, that really is sort of super top end. You know, some aero that actually makes sense. That is an SRRR. This is the future faster thing that I struggled with a bit when I was making my video, and in fact those aerofoils do actually look like they would twist and turn to adjust the downforce on the bike. Yeah, I mean that really is quite a piece of work. Let's come down and show you that as it turns around in front. Hopefully in the 4K you can actually pick all of that. But yeah, that really is quite something special, all the way down to that polished tank, and the dash you can just about see in there. Following on from that, I think here we have another concept. This is the NK GP, and again, you know, it is undeniably a CFMoto, but it's certainly coming up to having a few bells and whistles, and you know, some of the styling cues that wouldn't look out of place on an MV Agusta. I know that is a big comparison to make, and the blue and pink is a little bit more garish than some of the fancy red paint jobs, but you know, you look at the spec on these things, you know, it's got those Brembo brakes, it's got those Öhlins forks that are fully adjustable, it's also got the Öhlins rear shock. I know that those rear sets are CFMoto branded, but you know, they certainly are up there. Yeah, carbon wheels. Yeah, I think that bike looks absolutely mint. Back to the real world, we have the 675 SRR, which I think is a cracking type. This is a 675cc triple, much like what was in the old Daytona 675, except this is new. You know, they're up to modern emission standards. You know, I love those metallic blue wheels. Just to come up and over the tank, you've got that pearlescent paint job, steering damper, adjustable suspension, and yeah, I think that's a really nice, really well put together bike. And the last but by no means least, they have a little one, a 450 SR. Again, I think this is the 450cc parallel twin that's also in the naked bike and in the 450 MT, but again, in a really well put together, and I think that will do very well. So now I'm going to come along the front here. So these are bikes that I've covered quite a lot in previous years. First up we have the 450 MT ES. So I believe that this is an electronic suspension version. You can just see the cylinder in there at the back. Yeah, looks kind of cool. I guess other than that, it's fairly similar to the standard 800 MT, just with a technological innovation. We then have the 450 MT, which has been covered quite a lot. I think they're great. The 700 MT, I also covered a fair bit last year. I think it's on the heavier side. It's probably not a class leader in the same way as maybe the 800 MTX and the 450 MT would have been, but nevertheless, really nicely finished bike. Right then, here's something new. This is the new CFMoto 1000 MTX. They've got it in the two colorways. I wasn't actually here for the launch, so I missed all the details. So what I'm going to do is just try and show you as much as I can about this bike. So yeah, looking at it from close up, there's a few keys that I can see from the 800 MT. Doesn't have tubeless wheels in there. It does look like it's got that low down fuel tank. If I come up and look over from the seat, wow, it's got a steering damper fitted there. It's got that quite large tablet looking dash, and then a Garmin mounted above it. It's got a very sort of steep, sort of rally style front windscreen. Yeah, coming around the other side, I mean, this one's fully accessorized up with Jivvy luggage down the side. I mean, you can really see just the quality that's gone into these bikes and how they've come up. Yeah, I mean, that looks as good as anything that you would get from Europe. It's got Brembo brakes front and back. It's got an Akrapovic exhaust pipe. It's got those sort of enduro pegs with sort of rotating clutch lever. It's already got all the guards fitted to the bike. Coming around the back, this one's just got a dry bag fitted to the top. It's got adjustable suspension with the adjuster hidden in there on the side. Yeah, I think that looks really, really tidy. I'll try and find out a bit more about the bike if I can. I'm sure they've got a press kit, and I'll put the full specs in the description for the video. We'll just go back and have one more look at the blue and pink one. I think this one is more in the standard build. No tubeless tyres on this one, so no tubeless wheels on this one, which I think is a little bit different. I see it does have the standard CFMoto exhaust without the dry bag fitted, but nevertheless, I mean, it does look like a big sort of scaled up version of the 450 MT and even the 800 MTX. I see this one's actually got the mirror, the screen wound down. So yeah, that works exactly the same as how it did on the 450 MT that I had. And yeah, I think that's a really interesting looking bike. Yeah, and actually, so first thing, standing up, that actually feels pretty good. Sometimes these things need bar risers. Maybe I'd rotate them up a little bit, but actually that feels pretty solid. Yeah, it's a comfortable place to be. I mean, it does feel like a big bike, as it should. Yeah, a lot of features that I recognise off my 450 MT, but then there's a few things like cruise control, which I suppose you'd get on a bike of this size. Yeah, I love it. It's just to see what CFMoto are doing, going from strength to strength, and I think this one will be another hit. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how much it goes for, because that's always a challenge. But the other bikes they've made have been extremely competitive. Maybe I found the replacement for my 1250 GS that went for a walk. Now then, further to my attempt at sitting on the bike, I picked the one on the left, the brown and grey and black one. I just bumped into the designer of the 1000 MTX, so he's confirmed to me that it's actually a 1000cc inline twin. The bike on the left is the concept, the bike on the right is the actual production bike, and these are pretty much ready to go. We'll probably start shipping in the next month or two. All the fuel's carried low down in those fuel tanks, those Brembo brakes and the KYB suspension. That is exactly how it will be on the final production bikes that we'll ship. So yeah, it's got that remote preload adjuster at the back for the KYB suspension, and just the fact it's got that massive screen up there. It is kind of a level above what is on the 800 MTX, but yeah, I love it. I must admit, I am quite tempted. Right then, the last few things. So first of all, we have all these Goes branded quad bikes, sort of ATVs, which look kind of interesting. Don't know a great deal about ATVs. What I am going to look at a little bit more is these U-Force vehicles. Now the first one is actually the EV, and then we have two more down there, which I think are probably the U10, yeah, which is this one here. Now these are actually showing up now in the UK, the U10 XL. is something that you can actually buy. I mean, this guy's kindly opened the door for me, and you see what they're like inside. They're really nicely finished. You know, electric windows. You know, if you have a farm and you need a vehicle like this that's actually pretty practical. I mean, this is the XL, which is the long one. They do one with a shorter wheelbase with just the 2 doors. The problem with these vehicles, they're quite big, so to be able to fit them in shot, I have to move back quite a long way. But yeah, that U-Force 1000, if you have rough ground, you are a farmer, you're looking for something that can get you around, that gives you a bit more protection than a quad, then, you know, I think these will do rather well. It's a bigger vehicle than I thought it was. I'm sure they do a smaller one as well. But yeah, that looks kind of cool. Right then, that is my video from the CFMoto stand here at EICMA 2025. Yeah, sorry for not knowing enough about the 1000 MTX when I first got to sit on it. But yeah, really interesting prospect as a 1000cc inline twin. I think they'll do really well. I mean, some of it will come down to the price, but if something like that is undercutting the standard Africa twin by a couple of £1,000, I mean, comparing it to the pricing for the 800 and the 450, I can't see how that'll be anything other than extremely competitive. Interesting times ahead. Right, thanks a lot for watching, and maybe I'll see you on the next one.